And the people wept that night. Amen. They cried. See, this is part of the problem I have with some of the so-called civil rights leaders. These guys fly in their personal jets. They live in gated communities. I'm not against that. Praise God, they are rich. They are doing well. And then they'll stand up and tell you, a black man can't make it in America. If you black in this country, the whole country working against you because a black man can't make it. And he's blacker than you are. And rich have gotten rich off of feeding you that kind of garbage. And there you go, you the fool. You sit there and you buy it. That's right. I'm black. I can't do anything because I'm black. I'm black. But he's black. He's just as black as you are. And yet he's doing good. Convincing you that you can't get anywhere and you're dumb enough to buy it. The devil is a liar. You ought to ask him, well, why are you doing so good, Rev? Why are you faring so well? I see you on CNN, MSNBC, all on TV and everywhere. And when they have the big movie stars and when they have their great big parties, I see you with them and they invite you in and oh my Lord, you're sitting at the table and all of y'all are having a ball and you're darker than me. You're darker than I am. Now how is it that you got up to that table with your black self, but you're telling me with my black self that I can't? You're being fed a bill of goods. They're lying to you.
The church plant pastors are the ones that have contributed the most to the dysfunction that we're seeing in the black community. Because the church plant pastors are operating like the children of Israel operated when they rebelled against Moses and they had to wander in the wilderness for 40 years. Because we have a generation, I call them the wilderness generation. We have a generation that came up after the civil rights movement who learned how to protest, who learned how to agitate, who learned how to use political power to advance their own agenda at the expense of black people. You can go down the list. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Benjamin Crump, and now the new one, Jamal Bryant. And they use touch points in history to capitalize upon the grievances of black people. And that's why I call them church plants, because that's what they do. They are planted in the black community to keep black people voting for the Democratic Party, to keep black people aggravated and aggrieved, to keep black people constantly feeling this sense of victimization and oppression. And they profit off of that. Like Bishop Wooden said, they profit off of your ignorance. They profit off of your emotions. They profit off of your fake anger. They use phrases like, the man got his knee on my neck. And they use, and what, another thing they've done, they've partnered with these 3 black lesbians, this African spirituality stuff, this syncretism that they do, where they walk around and they memorialize dead black people. They walk around and they're gonna walk down the street and say that person's name. That's necromancy. That's calling unto the dead. God forbids that. But yet you have these preachers, these pastors who openly do this. And they did it during 2020 and they're still doing this stuff. And one thing they also do is they want to keep you ignorant when it comes to being strong and sound financially. If you have a retirement portfolio, consider incorporating gold and silver and other precious metals into your retirement portfolio. For more information about incorporating gold and silver and other precious metals into your retirement portfolio, go to thebiblicalconservative.com/gold or click on the link in the description.
Very softly, musicians, very softly. Next Sunday will mark the 5th anniversary of the murder of George Floyd. Next Sunday is the 5th anniversary where the world stood still. As a consequence, hallmarking that moment, next Sunday we are going to Target in Conyers. In Conyers. We're going to the Target in Conyers outside of Target. We are not going in. We're going outside in righteous indignation. And so as a consequence, we are going for prayer. Would you look at the person beside you, tell them we're going for prayer. For 9 minutes and 40 seconds, we will be outside of Target for prayer. And I invited churches across the country to do it with us on next Sunday. I'm telling you, New Birth, you are an influential church. You're an influential ministry. Next Sunday, I hope you'll cheer with me. Not only will we be doing it, but 67 churches around the country. Come on, y'all got to shout better than that. 67 churches are going to walk out of their church just as we are doing here in Atlanta. It'll be at 12 at noon. I'm asking everybody on next Sunday if you'll wear New Birth paraphernalia, wear New Birth t-shirts if you can, to stand alongside us. If you don't have one, ask that you'll go to our bookstore on your way out. But we want to do it in a spiritual, holy manner. Amen. In a spiritual and a holy manner. And so ask that you will be prepared to be outside on next Sunday.
And by the way, it was his birthday at the church. And if you saw the service, they had a whole skit dedicated to Jamal Bryant. Well, I tell you, these church plant churches, we must continue to talk about this because this is so far from the gospel. This pastor, Jamal Bryant, has corralled 67 other churches to use righteous indignation on the quote-unquote anniversary of George Floyd being killed. And if you've seen the full video, you know George Floyd played a large part in what happened to him. We don't condone what Derek Chauvin did. Yeah, he could have gotten up off of George Floyd and could have rolled him on his back and set him up to prevent him from dying. But George Floyd was just as culpable as Derek Chauvin in that whole situation. But nevertheless, Jamal Bryant is going to use Memorial Day weekend to protest in front of Target for 9 minutes and 40 seconds. What is that going to do, Jamal Bryant? I know you got this whole Target thing going on, and it's been going on all year. You had the Target fast during Lent, and now you're keeping this thing going. You just want to shake them down for more money. Why is a pastor dedicating himself to shaking down a corporation over DEI when DEI benefits the LGBTQ and white women the most? Answer that for me in the comments, somebody. Why is a pastor who knowingly, he knows this, he knows DEI never helped black people, why is he corralling other black churches to go and protest in memorial of George Floyd, and he's protesting in front of a Target in Conyers, Georgia? Make that make sense to me. Show me the biblical reference. Now I know about marching around Jericho. I know about that. As a matter of fact, the Lord led me to do that around my house site when it was being built. So I know about that. I know how you march around Jericho, and there was a specific reason for that. I get that. But to go out and to protest Target for 9 minutes and 40 seconds as a symbolic gesture to the murder of George Floyd? Come on, man. But it's stuff like this that happens all the time in these church plant churches. It's to keep black people, black Christians, constantly aggravated and constantly feeling a sense of victimization. And now they've incorporated, see what they've done now. Now they've incorporated this African spirituality stuff to where you go around and you say that person's name. So now you've entered into necromancy. You enter into the worship of the dead. And so now you have these spirits that are familiar spirits, these demons that are associated with this stuff are now entering into these people's lives and they don't even know it. And they're going to keep you aggravated and keep you upset, because the devil wants to keep you in that place of aggravation and grievance, because he wants to steal, kill, and destroy from your life. And going to a church like this only kills your joy, it kills your prosperity, and it destroys your life. That's what this kind of church does to people. So that's why we have to constantly talk about this, because unless this is exposed and unless people's eyes are open, these people are headed down the path of destruction, and they don't even know it because they worship the God of blackness. Going to a Target on Memorial Day weekend, not celebrating those soldiers who lost their lives fighting in wars for our freedom. Not going down to, he wouldn't go down to Stone Mountain, but not going to somewhere in Atlanta as a memorial. You can even go down to Dr. King's, the King Center down in Atlanta. If you want to memorialize, go do that. But nah. We're going to go to Target and we're going to protest for 9 minutes and 40 some seconds or whatever because of what happened to George Floyd, the day the world stood still. But like I say, these are church plants. They are there to keep black people perpetual victims. Well, we're not victims. We are empowered for greatness.